Welcome to episode 8 of Ready Steady Read. So here we are at episode 8 of Ready Steady Read. Thank you so much for the comments that you've given me so far. It's truly appreciated. If you haven't done so already, then please click the subscribe button just at the bottom here, and also make sure you click the notification button, and that will let you know when new videos go up on our YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about a set of books that really has changed the face of magic, and that is the amazing Books of Wonder by Tommy Wonder. So here they are. These are the amazing Books of Wonder. There's 2 in the set, a fantastic set of books. My first introduction to Tommy Wonder's magic was through Spectacle, which I've mentioned before. I mentioned it in the context of Jeff Latter's work, but it was also one of the first introductions that I had, if not the first introduction I had to the work of Tommy Wonder. In there, there is a fantastic routine called Counterfeit to Spellbound, which also appears in the Books of Wonder. I believe it's in book 2. It's a fantastic routine, and it showcases the spellbound move, the Divernon spellbound move, and variations of it. What is wonderful about this routine is the fact that for the most part, if you see spellbound being performed, it's either performed as pretty much a one-off thing. You take a coin, you wave your hand over it and it changes. It's very rarely performed as a bulk of a routine. David Roth, for example, in his wild coin routine, what he does is he uses spellbound twice, or a series of spellbound changes, to kind of give a little bit of texture to the whole of the routine. So the coins change, and at one point he does a couple of spellbound changes, and that adds a little bit of texture to that particular effect. I've seen Curtis Cam do a spellbound routine that kind of has a build to it, multiple changes. But for the most part, like I said, if you see spellbound being performed, it really is kind of performed as a one-off. Here the coin changes and that's kind of it, with some exceptions. Gary Kurtz also has some work on the spellbound plot, which kind of lends itself more to a routine. Counterfeit Spellbound is great because not only does it make a feature of spellbound, but what it does is it lends context to it, so it makes it make sense. So here you have 2 coins that continually change from copper to silver and back again in the context of a routine, in the context of the presentation that you're giving it. It's wonderfully constructed. It doesn't make the spellbound move movie, for want of a better word. It doesn't really make it look like you're doing a slide. Like I said, it happens in context, so everything you're doing with the change happens as you're talking. So what it does is it reinforces the storyline that you're giving it. So it's a wonderful routine. Like I said, I first experienced it in Spectacle, and it does appear in the Books of Wonder. So it's a routine that is certainly worth checking out. There is absolutely tons of information that are in the Books of Wonder, mostly for close-up. There is some stuff for stage as well, but a whole host of theories and ideas that any magician should really take on board and absorb. I have countless books, as you can see here on the shelves. The Books of Wonder, if you can have a look at these here, you will see are very, very well worn. They're extremely well worn, to the point where actually the dust jackets are starting to fall apart. Now, I remember when I first bought these, I bought them at the Portsmouth Jumbo Day. I didn't pay very much for them, thankfully, and they are probably one of the most read sets of books that I have up here on the shelves. And the reason being is because they constantly inspire me. When I'm looking at some of the things that are on the shelves here, for example, the stuff we were talking about last time, the Ed Marlowe stuff, what I will do for the most part is I will look in here for the little hints and tips that Tommy Wonder gives you with regards to misdirection, audience control, directing, kind of putting a presentation together. They really do help me lay the groundwork for any effects or routines, presentations that I'm working on. Of course, there are other books that I read with regards to presentation, things like Magic and Showmanship, for example, Showmanship for Magicians, Maximum Entertainment, Strong Magic, Design and Miracles, which we'll talk about in a future episode, as well as the stuff that's in here. But these are the books that I refer back to constantly when I'm trying to put together an effect, a routine, or an act. So one of the things that I would like to say about the Books of Wonder is that it's very easy, and you'll probably hear lots of people talking about them, people that own them, people that have heard information about them, that they are chock full of not only material, but they're chock full of theory as well. Just my own personal point about theory, and I hope this kind of makes sense. You know, theory is there for us to kind of absorb and take in, but it is not the be all and end all. And what I mean by that is that the ideas that are in here are fantastic. There's no doubt about that. But I think there's a tendency that when you get theories in your head, let's say with regards to misdirection or audience control or the way that an act or a routine is structured, it's very easy to be too tied to them and too tied to what they're kind of saying to you. My ideas behind theory are this: that you should always have them at the back of your mind. When you're putting together a routine or an effect or a presentation, then always have them at the back of your head, always have them at the back of your mind. I think they're building blocks, and they're there not to just be used willy-nilly. You know, you can take them and you can build and still not go anywhere. You know, the whole point behind these is that they're ideas, much the same as a lot of the other books like Strong Magic, Designing Miracles, Maximum Entertainment. They are guides, they're ideas from working professional magicians that have spent many years thinking about these things, that have got to the top of their game by thinking about these sort of things. And really, you know, these ideas are there that they're passing on for us to use, but not to the point where, you know, theory becomes the only thing that you kind of concentrate on. Because I know, you know, you get bogged down with theory and then that becomes really. It's like learning sleight of hand. You learn a new piece of sleight of hand, and before you know it, that's the only piece of sleight of hand, or the only effects that you want to do with it is using that sleight. So like I said, it's just a tip from me. Take it as you see it, but when it comes to theory, you know, especially the stuff that you'll see written in the Books of Wonder, it is absolutely fabulous. There is no doubt. It is absolutely worth its weight in gold when you read it. No doubt about that as well, but just bear in mind that it's not the be all and end all of an effect or a magic routine. So with regards to the material in here, there is truly something for everyone. There's coin magic, there's cups and balls, fantastic cups and balls routine. I urge you to check out the 2-cup routine. There's a YouTube video of it being performed by Tommy Wonder, so check that out. My good friend Leo Smetzers has some work on this as well, so worth checking out. There's stuff for stage, there's obviously stuff with cards as well, so there's a whole range of different things. Now, I was saying earlier on about the theory is applied to these effects. So when you're learning the effects, the theory that has been discussed previous to that is applied to the effects that you're learning. So there's an effect in here that is called the Magic Ranch, for example, and in this effect it relies heavily on misdirection or direction control. Sorry, this is the term that we need to use from now on, direction control, and that is one of the first things that you learn in the book, because previous to that there's a discussion about audience control and directing attention. So it makes sense to use a routine that isn't particularly difficult, that focuses on that particular technique to get used to it. And then as the book continues through, you'll learn more and more advanced techniques to do with misdirection, timing, and the kind of audience control as well. So like I said, there's stuff in here for everyone. I would say that for the most part, none of the material in here is difficult. It's well within the capabilities of anybody from a basic to intermediate level. There's some stuff in here that maybe requires a little bit more thought and maybe requires a little bit more application at an advanced level. Certainly some stuff in here that will test your practical abilities, so making things, putting things together, the sort of mechanical side of magic. But again, this is part of the learning curve and part of the joy of not only reading from magic books but learning magic anyway, is kind of getting involved. So if it's something that you're not used to, then you know, you might find it challenging, you might find it easy, but it will certainly be something that you'll be able to sink your teeth into. So just to give you an idea of the sort of things that we have here, everything is well illustrated. We have some parts here just at the very beginning about the description of the effect and things that you need to bear in mind as well. It's got often quite easy in a magic book to just give you what the effect is, but it doesn't really elaborate on what you're going to do next. So you not only have a description of the effect, but kind of the history of it as well, why this particular route has been taken, obviously the route itself, and also some afterthoughts as well with regards to certain key points within a routine. Like I said, it's very well illustrated. It's extremely well written. The language in here is amazing. It really is. You almost feel like Tommy Wonder is sitting there talking to you, if only. But it really is a joy to read. These are the sort of books actually that you would not find out of place next to my bed. You know, they make for great reading at that sort of time just before bed. Well, I say great reading, you know, they may make your mind start to whir, in which case isn't a great idea if you're trying to sleep. But you know, what makes them good is that they're inspiring. So these are the Books of Wonder. There's 2 volumes, like I said. They are still available. These ones, like I said, are well worn. I actually bought mine individually, but you can get these as a combo set, so take advantage of that. Yeah, check them out. So before I leave you here today, I'm going to just perform 2 effects from the Books of Wonder. The first one is called the Rubiks card. This is an effect that I have been doing for a little while now, so I hope you enjoy it. And the second effect is called the Magic Ranch. So let's take a look at those now. So Deborah, when I was little, you know I'm one of 5 boys, right? I'm the eldest of 5 boys. And I used to play loads of games with my brothers. You know, they're more sporty than I am, all right? Yeah, you nod. She's right though. They are more sporty than me, but we used to play these games when we were younger. We used to play things like rounders. I was quite good at badminton, so I used to play badminton quite a bit. And of course, then I got into magic. And one of the things that my brothers used to test me on, and even other members of the family used to test me on, was that they would select a card, they'd put it back into the deck, and then I'd have to try and find it, all right? And I used to struggle quite a bit. And then my granddad, he got me this little puzzle, right, which I still have. I keep it just in here. And the puzzle was really good because what it was is it was a set of card pieces, right? These are just sets of card pieces. And then what you would do is you would take the pieces out. There are obviously not all of the cards here, but they would name one of the cards that would be on one of the faces, and then you'd have to take them out and then put them back in to try and reassemble them. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yes, you would put them in here, and then you would reassemble them. Yeah, so as you can see, I got, you know, fairly good at it. All right, and then I progressed on to doing it with cards. So we're going to test it. All right, we're going to test to see how quickly I can do this. Because I've moved on from that. So we don't need jokers in here, so let me just get rid of that. And where's another joker? Just there. And we'll get all of this out of the way. So it's just literally now a deck of cards, which we will shuffle up. In fact, let's make it hard for me. You shuffle that half. I get to see how well you shuffle. It's really good. No, yes, that's good. No, you do it very well. It's not the way that I would have done it, but that's fine. We'll mix these together, and like you did before, you can smush them.
Sorry.
Brilliant. Okay, so obviously the 2 of us, we shuffled a little bit like this, right? There are some people that do the fancy stuff on the table. In fact, look, much like you did before, I'm just going to go through like this, and I just want you to touch the back of a card. This one, you don't have to take it out this time. I'm just going to show it to you.
Yeah.
All right, you remember that. All right, I'm going to leave it exactly where it is, and now you can shuffle the whole lot, right? I gave you a little bit of a run up before by only getting you to shuffle half a pack, right? And then I'm going to see how quickly I can find it. I do have a personal best for this, actually. You don't want to know what it is, obviously. Right, I can do this normally within a minute. All right, normally within a minute, but today I'm going to try it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay? You say go and I'll do it.
Go.
Under 30 seconds. Queen of diamonds.
No.
That was the last one, wasn't it? Sorry. Let me try again. You really did shuffle them up. Sorry, I should really do this on camera. Let's try again. Just say go.
Go.
Definitely got it this time. Brilliant. Under 30 seconds. 4 of spades.
No.
Was it not it?
No.
I can't believe that. Let me try. I'll tell you what, right? Give them a cut. That might help me out a little bit. Can't believe this is going wrong. Okay. It's okay.
Go.
Excellent.
No.
Oh, how stupid of me, right? On camera as well. I forgot to ask you what the card is. I mean, I'm not mind reading or anything. So, before you do, let me pick up the deck.
8 of hearts.
Right. Still did it within. You really don't. What? Nothing. Do you know, I was a lot better at this when I was younger, right? Because, you got to remember these things. And the cards were really well shuffled. And, for what? I must have been 8, 9, 10 years old, right? That was pretty impressive, right? To an 8, 9 or 10 year old to be able to do that in front of his relatives, right? And get it down like that. It impressed my brothers, right? If I was to do this now, it'd probably still impress most of them. Yeah, if they're watching, I'm really sorry. You really don't look impressed though,
No.
right? You're probably thinking, what is the benefit of this? I was a lot quicker. Even though I progressed onto this, I must admit I was a lot quicker with the cards, right? In fact, as I was going through there to find your 8 of hearts, when you named it, I said that I do it in under 30 seconds, right? And I did. I found it in less than 30 seconds. The spare time, what I did is I managed to lift up the box and just rearrange each of the cubes so that now this shows the 8
Very
of
good.
hearts, just like that. So guys, I'm joined here this evening by my beautiful wife Debbie. Hello.
Hello.
Looking very bright on an otherwise dull evening, so that has brightened up my evening no end. Before we go any further, let me just warn you though, we have an invader in the house, right? We have an invisible chicken. Now, I don't want to disturb you or anything. I don't want you to feel put out of place or anything, but I've noticed for the last couple of days, it's a very slight clucking noise, right? And yeah, I know it could be anywhere, right? It could be anywhere. And I've managed to identify that when the chicken's about, really strange and magical things start to happen, right? It does a bit of mind reading as well, which is a bit weird for a chicken. But I've also learned that you can coax the invisible chicken out with a card trick. Okay, so we're going to try this. You can help me out with this. We don't need the... well, we'll give these a shuffle up. In fact, once we've shuffled these a couple of times, do you want to just take hold of them face down as if you're going to deal, and then just cut off a packet of cards from the top and just place that down there. Perfect. Okay, and then another packet of cards just next to it. Excellent, and then the next packet there. Perfect. So you take this packet, plop it on top of there, and this packet on top of here, just like that. Fair?
Yeah.
In fact, let me just put these away. Now I said about the magical chicken, the invisible chicken, right?
Yeah.
And you have to look out for it. For instance, it can appear anywhere at any point. All right. Let me know if you see any signs or anything. Right. Okay. Yeah. This would definitely be a sign. I'll tell you what, we'll try. Obviously, I need to finish the card trick. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go through like this. And all I'm going to ask you to do is just point to the back of a card for me. Just point to the back of a card. This one?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I will leave that just there. And if you show the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, just show the camera and place that just on top of here. Very good. And we will leave that just there. Now, I said that it was a magical chicken, the invisible chicken. It likes card tricks, right? And it does mind reading. For instance, look, if we just rattle this, just like this, you will find that in here, there is a playing card. And the playing card happens to be black. Was your card black?
Yeah.
Happens to be a club. Was your card? It was a club.
Yeah.
It was the 7 of clubs, right?
No.
What was it?
5.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so the Invisible Chicken got it right. He does his... You look semi-impressed by that. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, all right. So he can't be that good a chicken, right? You must have helped him out in some way by having cards that were all the same. And you'd be right, actually. I hate to share this with everybody, but actually this is the Queen of Diamonds. This one's the Queen of Diamonds. In fact, every single one of these happens to be the Queen of Diamonds. So in actual fact, the Invisible Chicken not only strikes again, but managed to get your card right. So I think he deserves a bit of a round of applause. So that's it. 2 effects from the Books of Wonder. I hope you enjoyed them. They really are amazing books. If you have a chance to get hold of a set, then I urge you to get hold of a set. You will thank me later, you really will. If there was one book set that I could keep up on my shelf, even if these were to all go, heaven forbid, the Books of Wonder would be the set that I would want to keep. So that's it for today. If you haven't done so already, then please click the subscribe button just at the bottom of this video, and also make sure you click the notification button as well, and that will let you know when new videos go up on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on episode 9 of Ready Steady Read.